Let's look at the greatest submarine in the world. Let's go.
We approach the USS Florida in the eastern Mediterranean as it prepares for a highly classified mission.
So
look at
this
that
is
thing,
18,000 tons we're looking at.
18,000 tons of American
Look at that thing.
steel.
American
a
steel.
nuclear-powered U.S. Navy guided missile submarine, 160 crew on board.
They call it the silent service for a reason.
That's right. All those missions are some of the most highly classified that we do.
They deploy underwater for up to 120 days, several months at a time.
No, that thing cannot be underwater 120 days. No.
Are given rare access.
No.
Board the submarine.
No.
Thank you.
It can. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We can't go to Mars, but we can be underwater. Only limited by food supplies. How do you do that? I mean, yes, you have the filter system that makes the air better, but...
Admiral William Houston
What?
describes where we are standing, just above the Tomahawk missiles.
Because
This
nuclear
can lift
power.
up at any time.
This could lift up at any time on order if we wanted to launch the Tomahawk missiles.
And how many Tomahawks are we sort of standing on right here?
Right now, 7.
They have more than 100 Tomahawks at the ready, and he points out something
They can make
else.
oxygen from the water.
Further, but you're literally...
Dude, all day long we talk about how fucked the human race is, but when you talk about military gear, it's amazing. Military engineering is so fucking insane.
standing 10 to 20 feet from an
Bro, look at this
operational nuclear
thing, man.
reactor right now.
They are
They
about to
electrocute
take us
water
down into
so
the submarine.
to separate the
We will
oxygen.
spend the next 24 hours traveling with them.
Wow.
A maze of narrow hallways and
Looks
hatches.
really good, man. Look how good that looks.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Every inch of the submarine is used. They give me a harness
Your head's gonna go right in between there.
Wow.
as we prepare to climb to the top of the sub, to the bridge. We wait for
Thank you
word.
so much on Braxton for the 5, man. Thank you so much,
The
man.
ladder
Thank you.
through several hatches. They tell you when it comes to your hands and your feet, make sure 3 out of 4 are touching at all times.
Thank you very
We
much,
climb
man.
several floors to meet the captain and members of his crew waiting atop the USS Florida. We make it to the bridge, where we find they are on patrol.
Looks much
as
more
the
comfy than World War
submarine
II
leaves port,
submarines, yeah. So look at that thing.
preparing to descend into the sea.
So don't fuck with America,
Back
man.
down
Thank you for the
inside
5,
the
man.
submarine, Captain Seth Burton takes us past the missile tubes holding the Tomahawks.
There's
Inside
tomahawks
this
in there,
tube
man.
right
That's
here,
creepy.
7 Tomahawk missiles.
And we take note that in between the curtains drawn, where the sailors sleep.
So the sailors
They sleep
actually
next to
there in
Tomahawk
between
missiles?
The Tomahawk missiles.
Inside the submarine control room, they are about to deliver the order to descend.
That looks so much better than World War II submarines. Like you understand all these buttons. Are you kidding me?
Submerge the ship, dive I. Dive.
Wow, look at that.
A camera shows the submarine disappearing under the water's surface,
400 feet.
eventually descending 400, 500, more than 600 feet beneath the surface of the sea. They train to move the submarine as carefully and as quickly as possible.
13-degree up angle.
I always wonder. I wonder how trained people are nowadays in real situations. Imagine there's a real World War III and they have to engage a real enemy. Are they all up for the task? I always wonder. I mean, no one is. When there's a war, no one is ready, right?
Soon we are all leaning with no effort.
You can't just train and get ready.
It is precision work in these waters of the eastern
Holy crap, look at
Mediterranean. Not long after,
They're doing
we are
Michael
leaning
Jackson.
in the other direction.
I mean, this is a 20-degree lean, right?
As they pull back, they have to be ready to make these moves. There are
What a
others.
feat of engineering, man.
We put
Holy
the
shit.
submarine right in this eastern portion of the Mediterranean to counterbalance the Russia buildup in Syria.
Do you have company here in the Mediterranean?
We do have plenty of company. The Russians are very active, and we're active with them.
Bridge Helm passing 270 to the left.
They probably
The
only
US,
always have little
aware the
war games with
Russians
Russians.
are trying to send a message.
The Russians have demonstrated their willingness to use missiles from submarines. They did it from the Black Sea
Yes,
into Syria, and now the Russians are here in the Mediterranean.
they absolutely are. And we're watching them very, very closely.
You
So,
are?
yeah, there's really not a day.
He's very
where we're
serious.
not
Look at him,
watching
man.
them every single day.
That's really serious shit,
Are they
man.
watching us?
I think they'd like to watch us.
In fact, the Russians recently showing their own underwater muscle in the Barents Sea. And just days ago, testing their new sea-based ballistic missile.
It's not lost on anyone.
This was before Ukraine, before nobody knew how fucking dumb Russia is. They still have good equipment,
Russians in
though,
Just the last
in that
week and a half.
department.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why we're here.
At night, we watch as they use a periscope with an infrared camera above the water.
Initial search complete. Hold no contacts.
So we're alone.
We are alone. Nobody's there, which is good.
it's
Crawl
it's
through
okay.
another hatch and snake our way to the nuclear reactor.
Coming through.
And soon we are standing in front of the hatch they have sealed off.
We're basically traveling on the submarine with a nuclear reactor.
Absolutely. We can operate more than 90 to 120 days submerged. And the reason is because that reactor gives us all the power we need.
And we ask, who is behind the
Deagle, my
hatch?
dude.
The team back there is
Thank you,
about
man.
11 watchstanders, highly trained nuclear operators.
And this submarine has only been refueled once.
Only once.
And that nuclear power also produces oxygen on board while under the sea. We are taken to the room where they...
But I have a weird question. So there's a war, and I shoot this guy in the ass, and I explode the submarine. Isn't that gonna contaminate, like, a shit ton of the ocean or some shit? Isn't that like a bad thing?
monitor it all.
When you're 500 or 600 feet
Yes,
below the surface,
yeah, that's probably really
you
bad.
gotta use the resource you have, which is water.
People always act like
We're
nuclear power is so
breaking down
amazing, but
the
then
mineralized water
when something
into
goes wrong,
oxygen,
it's not that
hydrogen.
amazing anymore.
So we make approximately twice as much hydrogen as we do oxygen. Send that hydrogen overboard.
When it hits the electricity here, it breaks it into hydrogen and into oxygen.
Yes, sir.
And there is something else about the USS Florida. It is always ready for U.S. Special Forces, for Navy SEALs, their weapons already on board. We are about
They have
to
Naval
climb
SEALs
to
on
see
board?
the small compartment attached to the top of the submarine, where Navy SEALs, U.S. Special Forces would deploy right into the water. Keep in mind, the submarine is still hundreds of feet beneath the sea.
This is the dry deck shelter on top of the submarine. In fact, we're still about 200 feet beneath the surface of the Mediterranean here in this room. This is where the Navy SEALs...
I'm so in awe of engineering, man. I have so much respect for people that design this stuff. Like, they're goddamn geniuses, man.
would deploy.
Holy crap. Imagine being so clever you designed that shit. Could you imagine? No, you watch TommyKay. You're a fucking retard, just like me.
A delivery vehicle of some sort.
Damn.
And in fact, the only thing separating me from the intense pressure of the water is this black hatch. And in fact, if you listen, you can actually hear the water.
This submarine is not $10 million, you idiot. Not in a million years, you fuck. You guys talk so much dumb shit. One guy is like, this is $10 million. This is 300 million. Easy 300 million. It's 3 billion. It's 3 billion, you fuck. 3 billion, Alter. Bro.
And on board,
Bro,
there is one
$3
more
billion.
powerful weapon, the torpedo.
Because as a captain, you always want to be ready.
Oh, look, these torpedoes.
So this one here?
Right.
They have 8 of them
Oh, they have
on
one
board
loaded,
the
man.
submarine. One of them already marked warshot loaded. And it turns out that every one of these torpedoes is tested multiple times before it's put into place.
Thank you, Moppy
on a
Kill.
gu-
That's what I always felt was so weird about the military. When I was in the military, you do all this preparation, but there's a 99.9% chance you will never do anything in your whole career. You always stay ready, but nothing ever happens. And then I always felt like when I was in the military, it's such a waste of a life. I'm so sorry. Oh, fuck you, Tommy. Military's important. Yeah, it's important. But I personally always felt like
guided missile
I'm
submarine.
wasting my time here.
These
I'm not really
torpedoes
doing
were
anything.
shot 5 times successfully as an exercise torpedo. The engine compartment, the afterbody, and the forward nose group, the
You go,
guidance
Matt.
control group of the weapon, before it can be certified to carry a warshot. So these weapons have actually had runtime.
Petty Officer Isamar Drake conducts a test run of the tube itself.
Shooting 2-4!
Oh, it's like a fucking video game.
So the force that was getting released in there was the 2,000 pounds of air going in through the firing valve into the turbine ejection, which is pretty much like a jet engine, spinning it up, which just ejects it out like a giant water cannon.
We have torpedoes that will
You
basically
know how to do your bed properly, though?
eliminate any submarine or surface ship if needed.
If needed.
If needed.
Captain Burton
You'll
is
probably
the
never see
commanding
this thing in
officer
action, though.
of the USS Florida.
If you just look at the region, and you've got ISIS in northern Africa, you've got what's going on the Turkey-Syria border right now. The fact that you're here in the Mediterranean, does that give you a set of silent eyes for the U.S.?
Absolutely. It gives them eyes where no one knows that they're being looked at.
Captain Burton is aware
They're
of the
supposed to be
Russians.
so away from home all the time. They never see their wives. And do you think they have sex? They have sex on that thing. 100%, bro. Dude, all day long you're in the Mediterranean, man. There's some girls on deck, man. They're gonna fall in love. They're gonna have relationships,
And the Russians
man.
have found a way to
100%,
signal to
man.
you, we're here in the
It's not
Mediterranean
allowed.
too.
I think it's allowed to have
They're here.
to be lots of gay sex.
And do you let them know that
That's allowed.
you know they're here?
That's why I'm here.
They're all
And
single.
on this submarine, as you walk down those narrow hallways, just enough room to get by, these sailors often do not know the classified mission on the horizon. They do know they're here in the Eastern Mediterranean and that they're ready.
All right, good evening, everyone.
The American flag.
You all are about to go on some missions that I can't tell you about here on the mess decks. You're in a very dangerous part of the world right now.
And tonight,
like, that's bullshit, man. Nothing's gonna happen to you. We're in a dangerous part. I think they want to give the crew the feeling of this is serious, man. It's very serious.
USS Florida now
no, it's
on
not.
that classified mission.
Nobody knows where it's at in the Mediterranean at any one time.
Including now.
Including now.
I'm David Muir for Nightline in the Eastern Mediterranean.
Fucking interesting shit, man.
The Rear Admiral
Like they're afraid of ISIS, bro. They're afraid of ISIS. What the fuck, man? They do one rocket, it's all over, man.
Yeah, you are still watching, my friend. Oh, I order thee to click these videos and subscribe for the greater glory of the channel. Yeah.